Hey kindergarten, it's Mrs. Peterson again. Today we are going to be reading a book called How Roland Rolls, and that's my title. The author of my book is Jim Carrey, and the illustrator is Rob Nason. Now Mrs. Peterson loves this story because I think it's a little silly and a little sweet. So before we get started on How Roland Rolls, I want you to make a prediction. What do you think this book might be about? Awesome. Now, I do have a couple vocabulary words that I want to go over with you. The first one is lonely. Can you say lonely? Lonely is when you feel like you're all alone and nobody's there to help you. The next word is maximum. Can you say that? Maximum. Maximum means the most. Your next word is destruction. Can you say that? Destruction. Destruction means it's going to destroy things. Your next word is relief. Can you say that? Relief. Now, if you feel relief, you might have been really nervous or upset about something, and then it all goes away, and you feel peaceful. Your last word is notion. Can you say that? Notion. A notion is a belief that you might have about something. So in this story, you are going to be hearing lonely, maximum, destruction, relief, and notion. And if you hear any of those words, I want you to put your finger on your nose. Kindergarten friends, I'm so excited to read this book to you. I think that you're really going to love it. How Roland Rolls by Jim Carrey. Somewhere in the middle of the deep blue sea, a wave named Roland came to be. He was headed for something, big dreams and goals, and he made lots of good friends, 'cause that's how he rolls. But one day, a big ship cut right in between them. Whoa. A week or two later, he still hadn't seen them. That's when a whale jumped way up in the air. Now, kindergarten, do you remember the book that you listened to on Monday? Do you remember all of the things that you learned about whales? What I want you to do is I want you to stop and I want you to tell me some of the things that you learned about whales. Awesome. Let's keep reading. And when he came down, Roland was splashed everywhere. Poor Roland felt lonely. He cried salty tears, and soon he was facing the worst of his fears. What vocabulary word did you hear? I heard the word lonely. A wave they called gnarly, using maximum suction, could suck Roland up and cause major destruction. I heard two vocabulary words. What did you hear? I heard maximum and destruction. But after chewing on a sailboat, Old Gnarly calmed down, and the sailboat was lost, but the sailors were found. Do you see this helicopter right here? This is called the Coast Guard. Can you say that? So the Coast Guard helps people who might be in situations like this out in the ocean. With a wave of relief, soon Roland was met by a funny old seabird who loved to get wet. Look at that seabird. I think that illustration is just too funny. His old feathers tickled, their new friendship grew, and the old bird introduced him to a wave that he knew. Her name was Shimmer, because up on her crest, the sun made her glimmer like he liked her the best. And they rolled on together for thousands of days. They made thousands of ripples that went thousands of ways. Yes, Roland and Shimmer thought love was just grand, but then Roland was told that life ends in the sand. That the coast is a place that a wave can't go past unless you're like gnarly, and even then you won't last. So the day they saw land, it gave them both such a fright. But Roland kept rolling, and Shimmer stayed bright. And they crashed on the beach together that night. Look at their eyeballs. I think that's just too funny. Do waves really have eyeballs? They just did that for the story. Now, they thought it would hurt when they got mixed together. Yet it just seemed to tickle, like the old seabird's feather. They didn't feel different, just bigger somehow, like the fish were all swimming inside of them now. It's a lot of fish. How many fish do you think are there? I bet there was at least 100. Do you agree? Then down they went, whoosh, in one swishy motion. And when they got deep, they were struck by a notion. Did you hear a vocabulary word? I heard the word notion. We're not little waves. We're this whole big, wide ocean. And suddenly, every wave they ever knew was right there to greet them. And the ripples came too. And they saw that together they played a much bigger role. They were in every ice cube between the North and South Pole, in all of the rivers and all of the streams. The puddles, the pools, and Mom's iron when it steams. They fill up the sink that you wash, your bowlin', and when you're sad, even your tears are rolling. Now, Roland has everything, which was one of his goals, and he's happy to share it, because that's how he rolls. All right, this next page is really funny. Oh, Mrs. Peterson skipped ahead. We're not quite there yet. Like Roland and Shimmer, you will always belong. You think you're just one little wave, but you're wrong. You're like Roland, and you'll always be rolling along. All right. The end? Okay. These are super silly. So this is the author. That's Jim Carrey. Do you see his face? So he made this face and he took a picture and he sent it to his illustrator so he could have Roland look like that. Can you make a Roland face? Let me see if I can. Can you try that? Awesome. All right, let's talk about our story. Who are the characters? You might say Roland, you might say Shimmer, or maybe the seabird. What was the setting of our story? We know that the setting was mostly the ocean. And then what was the plot? The plot of our story was all about Roland's journey when he became a wave, when he got to the shore, and then what happened next. We know that Roland wasn't everything, right? Kindergarten friends, you did a great job today. Kiss your brain. Awesome. All right, I'll see you guys next time.